Hello, everyone. I watched Friday Night SmackDown. And that video you watched, I apologize. I said I'll get to the point about where the Usos defend the titles and all. I apologize. It's because the Usos, Jay was not there all night. Apparently, he's done with the bloodline. Apparently, so now the question is, will Jay show up next week to help Jimmy defend the titles against Ricochet and Braun Strowman? But now, I was a huge fan of NXT. I loved NXT Black and Gold, like version point one, where people like Bo Dallas, Neville, Seth Rollins, Big E, Bray Wyatt, The Shield, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, where they all got to showcase what they could do before they went up to the main roster. That's what NXT was, a proving ground to build the future superstars of the WWE. Like Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe, people like that. And then, you remember a couple years ago, Triple H had a health issue. I believe he had a pacemaker put in. Vince McMahon decided to take over to help Triple H with like the stress load of running NXT. And honestly, Vince McMahon turned NXT into, I don't even know what the hell you call it. Something out of the Twilight goddamn zone. And his NXT 2.0, it was terrible. Shawn Michaels is now running NXT for Triple H. He's like the general manager of the show, trying to basically get it back to where it was before. It's been a struggle. They're still struggling. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch the NXT pay-per-view called Vengeance Day. That happened last night. Just see how well they have improved. And honestly, it was 50-50. There was some stuff that was not cool. There was some stuff that was great. You can still tell they got some ways to go to get back to NXT the way it was. The NXT Women's Tag Team Championships was defended when Caitlyn Caden and Katana Carter defended against, I'm going to call them the Daisy Dukes. Because this whole stable with the two girls and Brooks and Biggs, it's basically like a country kind of stable, Dukes of Hazzards kind of thing thrown together. It's terrible. It's garbage. The fans don't even react at all to these four people in the stable. Like, they're like, what is this? Anyways, the Daisy Dukes took on the champs. The champs, as soon as they announced the champs held those titles for 180 some days, I'm like, yep, Daisy Dukes going to win in the first ever tag match. Sure enough, the Daisy Dukes won the match. All matches, they got their asses kicked. Like, that champs just destroyed them with double team maneuvers. And the two Dukes could not get along at all, the two Daisies, because they start arguing because they are just thrown together as a tag team after they were having this feud on NXT, which, by the way, this feud made no sense when it started, and then ended with them fighting for the rights to a bar that one of them owned, that during this whole entire feud, he never even knew this bar existed until that match. That's some of the stuff that you still got to get rid of, fix those mistakes. Anyways, man, this is my first time ever watching Katana wrestle, and I gotta say, she's impressive. Like, she hit rapid fire forearms of both the Daisies. She hit a running drop kick onto one of them in the corner and then spun around midair and splashed the other one. That was awesome. And then she hit a diamond cutter on the outside off the ring apron. Like, just to run and then able to actually connect with the diamond cutter off the ring apron while you run. That was impressive. Anyways, the Daisy Dukes won the titles. That was disappointing. Wes Lee, the North American champion. I want to get that title so bad to add to my collection. That title looks awesome. He defended against, y'all remember T-Bar, right? From Retribution. Well, he's back on NXT finally, where he can showcase what he can do and not be buried. And he's gone back to his own name of Diedrich Divoskovic. I hope I pronounced that right. That match was good and not good. Like, Diedrich hit the high justice. That was awesome. Wes Lee kicked out, hit two back-to-back super kicks, knocked him down. Diedrich hit a running big boot, almost spun him halfway over 360 with a clothesline. And then, that was the cool stuff, okay? Well, Wes Lee, I'm pretty sure, injured Diedrich. He had a top rope hurricanrana, and Diedrich landed on his neck. Oh, that looked painful. And during the match, if you watch when Diedrich's on the top rope, like taunting, one of his fingers is broken. You can see that clear as day. That looked nasty. Anyways, this part they're fighting outside the ring, and Dijak goes around to the announcers, and picks up a goddamn broom. Like, why is this broom just laying there? Clear as day, you can see the broom. There's no steel chairs, just a broom. What's he gonna do with a broom? Right? And then, for some reason, the Dons, Tony, and Top Shack showed up during this match and basically waited for Dijak to jump off the top rope to moonsault them down. And then, this is what I did not like. Dijak applied the chicken wing submission. The crossface chicken wing. I'll get it right here. Onto Wes Lee. Now, any other time when someone applies that submission hold, that referee would raise the arm up. 1, 2, 3. That's it. But for Wes Lee, he raised his arm up. 1. Waited like 2 minutes. 2. Wait 5 minutes. You gonna drop it or what? You just hold on to it. And then Wes Lee powered out of the submission. Honestly, Dijak should have won the North American Championship in that match with that submission hold, the crossface chicken wing. See, he had that on there for 5 minutes. And the referee protected Wes Lee. I'll get to that. Wes Lee ended up winning the match to retain the North American Championship after back-to-back super kicks. Now, this honestly is the first time I ever watched Wes Lee perform in NXT. As people out there saying that since he's HBK's top student from this training school that HBK ran, that he's getting protected from HBK. There's a majority of people saying that. There's a majority of people saying he's not. After watching this one match and how they screwed over Dijak and how he should have won that title and how the referee made sure the Wes Lee could perform before he continued, stuff like that, I'm leaning towards the majority of people saying that he's protected by HBK. I'm leaning towards that group of people just from this one performance. Now, the NXT Women's Championship freeway happened. Roxanne Perez defended her title for the very first time on pay-per-view since winning it last month against Toxic Attractions, Gingy, and JC. I love this tag team. I hope they get caught up to the main roster before they break them up on NXT, which looks like they're going to do, which is a shame. And a freeway. Now, this is cool. Before the match, Toxic Attraction came out to Jetter. So you can tell, Roxanne's going to be double teamed. All match, she got double teamed. Moves after the other. JC took turns beating her up in the corner. And then she handed over to Gingy, who just destroyed her. I'm a big fan of Gingy, by the way. Roxanne, no, she still give that fighting spirit. She still fought on. Hit double drop kicks on both of them. Hit a top rope crossbody knocking down both of them. Then she went to do a move on JC. JC moved out of the way. She accidentally hit Gingy. Gingy pulled JC off the pin cover and confronted about outside the ring saying, hey, what was that? And then Roxanne did a suicide dive over the ropes and Gingy pulled JC into harm's way. So Toxic Extraction ended up starting fighting each other towards the end of the match. And now that Roxanne to send Gingy outside, knocked her down, and hit a top rope pop rocks. It's like a sunset flip into a power bomb off the top rope on JC for the 1, 2, 3. Roxanne won the title to keep it going. She's a student from Booker T that has trained her. I just noticed that HBK trained one person. Booker T has trained the other. They're both champions already. Is that a coincidence? I say so. Anyways, I'm a fan of Roxanne. I hope she has this title run for quite a while. NXT Tag Team titles on the line in a Fatal 4-Way match. Whew! The New Day's very first title defense on pay-per-view since winning them. Against Pretty Diddly, the former champs, who remind me so much of Billy and Chuck. That's cool. I was a big fan of Billy and Chuck, the tag team, and Pretty Diddly, I like them as well. My mom does as well. They took on Gallus of Wolfgang and Mike Coffey. I remember those guys in NXT UK with Joe Coffey, with Gallus as a freeway tag. Those guys wrestled the period and won hell of a rivalry. Those 6 guys put on amazing matches. So now that they're back, because they didn't want to come to the Vince McMahon era of NXT, they're like, nope, we ain't going up there. Now that they're back, maybe Joe Coffey's going to return, because you can't have Gallus without all three guys. And then Adrian Chase and Duke Hudson of the Chase U University, that's something else has got to go in the garbage. That's stable. It makes no sense. It's like watching the classroom, and I don't want to watch classroom segments. They never work out. This Fatal 4-Way now, amazing match. Words cannot describe you how not to watch this match. It was from start to finish, hard flying action, hard hitting, non-stop adrenaline and rush. Like as soon as that bell rang, everybody just started going at it. It was awesome from start to finish. During the match, Gallus attempted to put somebody for the announce table. Pretty Diddley fixed the announce table up. That was funny. And then Gallus tore back down again. Adrian Chase, Duke Hudson started doing that. Remember like the Randy Orton stomp people when he stomp on the arm, stomp on the leg, stomp on your gut, stomp on your knee? Like he'll go around your body, stomping on you. Well, they do that. And when they do that, they chant CHAESU University. Like, oh my good lord. They did that. And then Gallus ended that when they double team power slam Duke Hudson through the announce table. That was it for Chase University. Kofi Kingston, man, he's on fire. He hit 3 boom drops on 3 guys, jump up clotheslines, Trouble, SOS, Trouble in Paradise, like he was cleaning house. And then Pretty Diddley pulled him outside the ring and delivered a double team neck breaker. That was it for Kofi. He was done for the rest of the match. Xavier Woods basically ended up fighting by himself because Kofi was still laid out by the double team neck breaker outside. Xavier Woods did the best he could to retain the titles, but he suffered the Gallus' double team maneuver of the run-in big boot into a power slam. Gallus won the NXT Tag Team Championships. Maybe that means the New Day is going to go back to SmackDown permanently, maybe. I don't know. Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner son, defended his NXT Championship against Grayson Waller. This is the second time these guys faced off on pay-per-view, and it's off a steel cage. Now, Waller, all match, basically tried to at first escape the cage, which made no sense because they announced there's no escape of the cage. Only winner wins by pinfall submission. So why are you trying to escape the cage? Unless you're just terrified of Braun Breaker, which would make no sense because leading up to this pay-per-view, he's been outsmarting Braun Breaker week by week, outsmarting him. So it made no sense for him to try to get away from the cage. Then he finally started throwing Braun Breaker into the cage. I don't know how many times. One time he did it 4 times in a row. Then he ran and sandwiched Braun Breaker between the cage wall and the ropes. That looked nasty. Braun Breaker blotched a belly-to-belly. A belly-to-belly suplex. One of the most common moves you see, and you blotched it. Come on, Breaker. You're supposed to be this big, huge guy representing the Steiners. At least Scott Steiner could do a belly-to-belly. He never blotches that. But he blotched the belly-to-belly suplex. Then he hit spear, hit out a spear, hit 2 more spears, and then pinned Grayson Waller for the 1-2-3 to keep the NXT World title. Braun Breaker, honestly, to me, the only guy, he's like Goldberg. Spear, that's it. Yeah. I hope they do more with the guy except for that. And his entrance of coming out and tearing through a piece of paper. Like, come on. It was cool the first 2 times, but now every single time you wrestle, you gotta come out and plow through a piece of paper that has like his opponent's face on it or something like that. Like, what the heck? I'm not watching a football game where the football team comes out through those, smashing through the banner, stuff like that. I'm not watching a football game. I'm watching wrestling. Now, this is the only match I'm excited for, which is Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes in a 2 out 3 falls match. Goddamn awesome match, folks. These 2 guys are great, talented athletes. They put on one hell of a clinic. Apollo Crews hit 5 German suplexes, then a huge back body drop. Then he had the standing shooting star press. That was awesome off the ground. Then he hit the standing moonsault. Then Carmelo Hayes jumped off the top rope and Apollo caught him and delivered a Death Valley driver. That was awesome. Carmelo Hayes, not to be outdone, hit a springboard stunner on him. Jumped off the ropes, hit a diamond cutter on Apollo. Hit that awesome, he jumps off the top rope and does like a backwards leg drop. Like Hulk Hogan, you know, like the Hulk Hogan leg drop. Well, he does it coming off the top rope and does it backwards. That was awesome. He hit that on Apollo. He hit a Hurricanrana into an STO takedown, into a diamond cutter, into a crippler crossface submission. Just that sequence of doing that was awesome. Carmelo Hayes won the first fall from submission. That powered up Apollo Crews. Now, like, he took it right to Carmelo as soon as that first fall was over. Like, jump up clotheslines. He had like 3 of them. Carmelo Hayes again hit an awesome maneuver. And then Trick Williams, Carmelo's partner outside the ring, exposed a turnbuckle with a corner. Apollo Crews saw that, Irish whipped Carmelo Hayes into the turnbuckles. Then he went to do a move, but then all of a sudden, Double Kai, remember him? Apollo Crews' friend from SmackDown. He returned. Yeah. He ruined the match. Took out Trick Williams, and Apollo's like, hey man, what's up? And then, bam, Carmelo Hayes came off the top rope and hit the Famouser for the 1-2-3. Carmelo Hayes won 2 falls straight. That's never hardly do you see that happen in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Or like an on-demand match. Hardly ever do you see a superstar win of a clean sweep. That was cool. After the match, Double Kai got in and beat up Apollo Crews. So he's back, defeated Apollo Crews. So Apollo Crews wrestled Braun Breaker at the last pay-per-view for the NXT World Championship. Took Braun Breaker to his limits. Put on this amazing match with Carmelo Hayes at this NXT pay-per-view. Now he's got to face Double Kai. To me, that's like being slapped in the face with a pink slip, basically. Like, they're basically telling Apollo Crews, like, yeah, man, you did great, but now you're going to wrestle this guy and you're going to be buried. Poor Apollo Crews. Poor guy. And Double Kai, words can't explain how terrible he is. So overall, watching this NXT pay-per-view, like I said, it was 50-50. Definitely liked the NXT Fatal 4-Way Tag match, except Chase University should not have been in it. Definitely liked the NXT Women's Championship Freeway. That was a very good match. And man, Apollo Crews, Carmelo Hayes tore the house down. Then the steel cage match. The only cool part about that was when Waller threw Braun into the cage wall a few times. The NXT Tag Team title match was disappointing because the Daisy Dukes won it. And Dijak got screwed out of the North American Championship against Wesley. He should have won that title, hands down. There you have it, folks. Let me know below if you watch NXT Vengeance Day, what you thought of it. Do you think I'm wrong that Dijak got screwed out of the North American Championship? What are your thoughts of Double Kai returning to feud with Apollo Crews? Is Apollo just going to basically get buried like I think he is? I hope not. I hope this is just like a one-hit match and that's it. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.